welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Veronica, and if you know who I am, I probably know you in person because I haven't posted in like over 2 years. Anyways, welcome to my applying to grad school vlogs. So far I haven't cried, but also, well, I guess technically if you count the GMAT, I did cry a little bit. Little did I know the GMAT is hard. And cramming for it is not the way to do it. This year, I'm looking to have a little change. I'm specifically looking to get my master's potentially abroad, at the minimum out of state. So the thing with getting my master's abroad in Europe is it's so much cheaper. Not only that, but I do plan on living like a student on like a student salary, and I have been saving up all of last year to meet aggressive savings goals. I researched a ton of universities, and now I have a full table of universities I will be applying to. I am currently applying to a school in France. I will be finishing up my application tonight. I'm really nervous and excited. It's currently January 31st, 2024, and I'm applying for September admission. So definitely early, which is good. I just finished the video interview, and that was so silly. There was one, you have to answer within 60 seconds, and there was one where I didn't answer within 60 seconds, and I really wish it was something that you could edit and upload as opposed to say on the spot, because it's really nerve-wracking. But it was, the questions weren't that hard. Actually, they were very similar to the essay questions. I'm almost done writing all of the essays, and then I have to edit them, and then I'll be submitting those tonight. Alright, I guess I'll see you guys when I have another update. Hello, so I am recording this on my phone. Hopefully the audio is okay. It's 10:15 and I'm officially done writing the essays. I'm just going through it and rereading. I think I have a really strong voice. A part of me isn't sure if it's towing the line of like too casual versus not boring, right? Like I don't want to sound like every other applicant. I've added humor into it by talking about not only what experience I have, but like the worst experience I've had or encountered with data analytics. I don't know, I thought it was like a funny little anecdote there, but it really got me thinking about like writing essays in French. I don't know if my voice will be strong enough, and I definitely don't know if I'll be able to add a sense of humor to it, but maybe, because like the biggest thing is I don't know how to add like specific phrases. Like in English we just have so many different ways and like phrases that we say, but I definitely don't really know many in French, and I wouldn't feel comfortable writing about one or adding it into an essay if I don't fully understand what it is. I am really excited to be almost done with this well before midnight. I'm just gonna keep editing for maybe another hour. It might not even take that long. And then actually one of the last things I have to do is submit a photo. So I have to go through my photos and figure out which one I want on like a student ID potentially. So I mean, that is a lot of pressure. Like no pressure, but it is a lot of pressure. And if any of you guys are applying for any higher education or anything, I wish you all the best. Okay, see you later. Hello, I'm back. It is March 4th, Monday, March 4th, and good golly, Miss Dolly, did February just fly by? I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I spent a good first half of February just doing more research on more universities, and like it felt like I was being productive, but it feels like I have nothing to show for it, because by the second half of February, I actually took a step back because I was sick and also very, very busy. Like I had a lot of just social events, which is all good things, but I did take a step back from applying. Now that it's March, there are a lot of applications due in March, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about my top 3 choices. My top choice is IESEG in Lille, France. It would be an alternance, which means that I would be able to go to school part-time and work part-time, and at the end of it I would have 2 years work experience, of course part-time, and a master's degree, which would be really cool. I believe the last time we talked was like January 31st, because that was when I submitted my first application. I didn't even film a reaction video when I got my acceptance letter, which is really exciting, but it's not that exciting because I'm not going to go. That's another thing I did in February. I just spent time thinking, if I accept this, then I don't have to do any more work. Like, I'm a shoo-in, but it's not an alternance program, which means I would be paying for my school out of pocket, and I would be paying for all of my cost of living and everything out of pocket, which of course is very normal. But if I could get a company sponsorship, then I would be able to have my master's paid for, as well as a little allowance or a salary, which I feel like is an allowance because in the US we make a lot more money. But we also don't know what work-life balance is in the US, so I am here for the salary. Okay, Paris in general has been on and off on my list, and I believe I do want to go because there are better job opportunities in Paris, but Lille has a better like student vibe to it. I think I'd be able to adapt in both places though. So I've also been looking into public universities, but public universities don't have exactly the specialization that I want. And I would need to apply by March 24th, and then I wouldn't know until June. Whereas a lot of the private universities, you know within a month if you got accepted. So, hopefully I'm not, throwing my chances out by just like completely avoiding public altogether. I also just hate the user interface of the public university website. Something else that's kind of fun is I need to learn Python and SQL, most likely, just like before before going. I plan on taking CS50. It's the Intro to Computer Science class from Harvard, which is free on YouTube. So love that for me. And I would just need the basics because obviously once I get into a university, I'll be working on projects and all of that. So anyway, I will let you guys go. I'm acting like it's a FaceTime, like a meeting. Like, all right, thank you for your time. And I will talk to you guys next week. Also, I got a haircut, and I mean, obviously my hair's a smidgen dirty today, but I think it's fun. Like, I think it's really fun. I don't think it's very well styled right now, but the haircut itself is pretty cool. I'm gonna do more research. I don't know why I get into such a analysis paralysis. Like, oh, I don't know why. But it is what it is. And maybe I'll just start writing essays, because the sooner I get accepted, the less places I have to apply to. It is officially March 10th, and I have not submitted any applications. I think it just really hit me, whereas before I was like, oh my gosh, I want to get my master's in Europe. That sounds so cool. And then it hit me of like, things are due, and then I'm going to be accepted, and then I'm going to move, and I realized I will be staying in my place for the next 10 weeks, and then after that I'm going to start moving. Because I want the next 10 weeks to go by as slowly as possible. Like, I want to take it all in, and I want to enjoy it to the fullest. But sometimes when you enjoy life to the fullest, it goes by so fast. Like, I literally froze today. I was like, I don't want this to end. But you know, time is going to keep going by, and days are going to keep going by, and deadlines are going to be due, and fingers crossed I'll be accepted somewhere. And speaking of acceptance, I actually have an application due today. It's with the Paris School of Business. So that'll be the first one I do. And then by the end of April, I'll start getting a couple of either acceptances or rejections in. Fingers crossed, you know, acceptances, but I'll start getting replies back at the end of April. And then I have a couple other schools that I can apply to as like another backup that I can apply to either end of April or beginning of May, and then I'll know by either June, July. I don't think it's going to get to that. I don't think I have to go that far, but there are a couple more choices just in case I don't get in to a work-study program. I'm not entirely sure how competitive it is, but obviously I want to get the work-study programs in as soon as possible. And of course, if I don't get into any of those, then I will be applying to just normal master's degrees. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. My heart is like, it's freaking out because my life is so cool right now. Like, it's genuinely, it's so chill. I've got a chill job, a great boyfriend. I like great friends, but things are just chill. And I'm kind of ready to spice it up and grow. That's the main reason I want to go, is I want to just grow as a person socially. I want to grow, obviously, my network abroad. It would be super cool. Not only that, just like having friends all over is a really cool feeling. I'm excited. I'm excited. My top town is Lille in France, and they just have such a wonderful like student life. But then like I might also end up in Paris, which would be so cool. If not, Lille is like a 2-hour train ride away from Paris, so I'll still be going to Paris on a couple weekends just to go and explore, and I'm so excited. I'm nervous and I feel better. Honestly, I needed that time earlier today to just freeze. I ended up taking a nap, but I needed that time just to like reset and knock out this. The first application I'm doing is Paris School of Business. It is kind of a throwaway. It's a top 25 school. Obviously, if I end up going, I'll be really happy, but it's not my first choice. So it's actually due March 11th. It's currently March 10th. But with the time difference, I always make sure to submit things one day before. I'm also just sort of calendar blocking again, not only the next 10 weeks, but more. All right, well, I have to go. I have to get this application submitted and hopefully get a little dopamine kick or something once I complete it. Hello, welcome back to the vlog. It is March 21st. And I'm a little stressed, I've got to say. I've had a couple meetings with like old professors, and I asked my boss for a second letter of rec, so I'll be getting that in by the end of this week. It is the end of March, which is crazy because March was supposed to be kind of a chill month for me, and then things just sort of start snowballing out of control. But until then, I have 10 days to get as many applications in as I can. A couple say that they're like on a rolling basis, so if I get them in closer towards like the beginning of April, I should be fine. And luckily, a lot of the schools that I'm looking into, it looks like they respond within a month. So I'm trying to get everything in by the end of March to know by the end of April. I am still gonna do a couple reach schools and then a couple schools that I feel comfortable, and then obviously like a safety school, but like genuinely I don't know if I could even get into a safety school, which sounds crazy, but like I'm nervous, you know, like what if it's just not good enough? I feel like I want to apply to more schools now. Like before, I think I had like maybe my top 3 schools that I was going to apply to, and then I had a little freak out yesterday because one of the schools I was applying to, I realized that they don't offer the courses that I want to take, and that's been sort of a problem. Like I definitely want to learn Python and SQL and hopefully come out of this becoming a data scientist, which honestly at the beginning of my search I wasn't entirely sure of like all of the nuances between degrees. But now, like after having reviewed so many different courses and types of degrees, I've placed more importance on the education that I'm getting and hopefully coming out of it as a data scientist with a specialization in AI if possible, as opposed to maybe an easier track with a cheaper school. Because at the end of the day, my coursework needs to be modern, it needs to be up to date, and it needs to be like a leader in the industry to be competitive in the workforce. Classic capitalism, but I'm here for it. I'm really excited for the degrees that I'm picking. And I've already written a ton of essays, which is nice because now I can modify essays as needed and there's like less work overall that I have to do. Honestly, I can knock out essays in English pretty quickly, so I'm excited to go to that, and I am aiming higher as one of my professors told me to do. even though the work-study program might not be available for everything, there are still internships available and other possibilities, as well as student loans. I'm not too concerned about student loans. My projected salary versus the student loans that I would be getting are well worth it. I'm going to try to finish up this application in English because I'm meeting with one of the recruiters tomorrow. That's a fun little thing that I need to talk about is the recruiters and how helpful they are, because obviously they want you to come to their school. So basically I'm a little stressed because within the next 10 days, I'm just gonna really work on these applications and these essays and everything. There are others that I had sort of put on the back burner because they didn't offer work study that are now coming to the forefront because I am planning my entire life around moving to France for my master's degree, and the worst thing that could happen is that I don't go to France for a master's degree. Obviously I hope to get multiple acceptances, but I need at least one. So I'm just gonna put out all the chances that I can out there and hope for the best. Okay. Hopefully I won't be that stressed the next time we talk. There's been a lot going on. So one, I got accepted into a school in Paris, which I'm so excited about. I initially thought I was going to go to a school in Lille, France, but what I noticed is there were a lot of universities in Lille, which would make it obviously a really cool hub, but there weren't as many job opportunities. Whereas in Paris, yes, there's going to be a lot of students, a lot of people, but there's also a lot of companies, including a ton of fashion houses like Chanel, Louis Vuitton, Hermes, and so on and so forth. So I decided this week I might actually start applying to fashion houses. The cool thing is I am going into a program for data science for business students. I'm super excited because I would love to be a data scientist, and I'm actually taking a CS50 course on YouTube. I'm not taking it for credit, just to learn the basics and the fundamentals of computer science. And then I also found out there's a CS50P, which is awesome. That's for Python, to learn the basics and understanding of Python. So that will be me all summer long, all spring and summer. I'm just gonna be learning how to code, which I'm genuinely super excited about. But it felt a little counterintuitive to apply to a data science role because I'm doing a work study. If I genuinely don't know how to code yet, you need to be able to pass the interview. And a lot of the data science interviews are very technical. So there's no way I would pass with a couple lectures of CS50 under my belt, I haven't completed a project. It would be very stressful to learn a lot of that even before school starts to try to get a job. So anyways, I contacted the recruiter for my university and I said, hey, listen, would it be possible if I do a supply chain alternance, which is the work study program, this year, and then apply for a data science program after I have a year's worth of knowledge my second year? And then I would feel a lot more comfortable being a beginner in data science with about half of my degree completed, as well as CS50 and CS50P and any personal projects that I may want to work on. And he was like, yeah, that's totally fine. So I feel a lot more comfortable because I have over 5 years of supply chain under my belt, including some college and then 4 years work experience. Long story short, I think I've got a lot going on. Also, change background because I was filming upstairs, but upstairs is slowly getting completely decluttered, and I'll probably make a decluttering video soon. Anyways, that was my update. I think I'll be applying to fashion houses this week. Actually, what I'll most likely do is read through all of the fashion house descriptions and see if there are specific keywords that I keep coming across, and then try to incorporate those on my resume and then apply maybe at the end of this week. So a little nerve-wracking, but super exciting.